Hi there, welcome to my channel. I'm going to be replacing the hose on this Bissell proheat spot. Tools that I've got is screwdriver, star screwdriver or a Phillips screwdriver. We've got little instrument just to lift up the sticker, and we've got a plier there, and I've just made the sheet here. I'm going to talk you through the stages to make it nice and easy. The first thing we're going to do is remove this sticker here, which conceals some screws. Now, the way to do it is you put your finger around, wrap it around, like that until you feel this at the bottom, a little dent there, and that's going to be our access point. Now the sticker is glued on there, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to use this little air gun to heat it up, and that will help to remove the sticker. And I'm going to go down here and just gain access underneath there and just lift it up. Now you can do it with the screwdriver, flathead screwdriver. I'm just using this to leverage through, but either way, find the tool which is the most appropriate, and then you're going to place that sticker head face up. So you got the heating away, and let's do that first. Okay, heat it up and just lift it out, pull it up. You don't need to use the heater, but it's actually quite nice because it makes it easier to remove and less damage to the sticker. The sticker has now been taken off and kept safely. So we're now going to look at these 5 screws. These are Phillips screws and they're black. We're going to keep them aside, and we're going to mark down the order at which we're taking things apart. So that's the 5 screws which have been taken down, and as I said, we'll write it down here and I'll show you the sheet at the end. So that is the reel removed here, and you can see that's the hose reel with the 5 screws we've tucked in under there. Okay, and that's where we're going to keep them, so we know where they're coming from. And I've written it down again. I'll write it on the sheet there, and then underneath that you will now see 1 screw here, 2 screws here, 3 screws here. We're going to remove those and we're going to place them under this because it's going to go in a sequence of replacement as well. You'll understand later. Moved the to the other side, the opposite side, but basically remove the power cord, take it out of the way, and there'll also be another 5 screws here, which are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These need to come out, and we're going to place them aside as well, ready to fit later on. So let's crack on with that. So that's those 5 screws out, and now we're going up to the top of the surface, and we can see there's another screw there, which have been removed. Now they're all the same type of screws, so what we're going to do is we're placing them all there, the 5 plus 3 plus 1 plus the 5 which are in there, and that makes it easier for us. Now this should now allow this unit, I believe, to actually disconnect. I just wonder if that is the case. Yes, it should disconnect. We'll give it a try and we'll move it aside. There's an art to removing this housing. What you want to do is start on this side, just wiggle it off, and then lift off this side here. Now it's held on by clips, and you will see the clips on there. You should see them. Let me try and pull out. You see the clip there and the clip there. So they clip onto here and here. So just take your time, ease it off, and then remove it to one side. And then I believe that should allow the other sides to lift off as well. So we'll take our time and we'll work on that. Now going to this part of the machine, so there's the red part there just for orientation. You've got a screw here. Now you're going to have quite a bit of difficulty getting these screws out if you're using a standard screwdriver. You can use a small little miniature ratchet and ratchet them out like that with a screw head, but it can be done. And if you look at the side of the screw, it's different from the other ones, so we want to make sure that these are kept separate to go into this area. So there's 2 of them, and little tip, if you are using the long screwdriver, you can see the angle. You're going to have to put quite a bit of force downwards to avoid basically damaging the head of the screw and making it difficult for future replacements. Ideally use a little miniature ratchet or miniature screwdriver and just power through, but otherwise force down and turn and remove. With those 2 difficult screws out of the way, we're now going to move to the other side, the front of it, and remove the screw there and the screw there. Now this should be able to lift out and place the side. It will still be attached to electrics, but we're going to do that and separate the tops. So that's the next thing. And now we place those 4 screws there. So as I said, slightly different from the screws which are under there, and we want to keep them because they're holding down this covering a slightly a more important screw, so it needs to be long. So that's what we're going to do. Keep them aside and we'll come back. Okay, you can see that the cables, the wiring moves away, is attached here. So we're going to move the top half over to this side, away from that side. So we're going to leave it across like that. The hose pipe should just disconnect quite easily. It should just wiggle out. Oh, there it goes. Okay. Oh, look at all that gunge inside it. Okay, remember you're going to have to clean all this up as well, and you should get more power, because look at that. It's just crazy, isn't it? And the next thing we're going to do is we're going to unclip this little clamp here, and we'll have to squeeze it. Now I brought these pliers across, but maybe a set of needle grips with needle nose pliers will be better. So I'll do that, squeeze that through, disconnect this. I might put a little bit of heat on this just to ease it out. It's no big deal. We will get this out, and that will be done. Okay, so that's what we're going to do just now. So this is new hose pipe here, comes with this attachment pre-fitted. So you can see that that is the equivalent of the one which is attached to the black cord there, which is firmly attached. So even though I've dislocated this, removed this clamp, this is really hard to get off. So what I'm going to do is take it off this side, and it just slips off nice and easy. And then we're going to fit the push this bit into the clear tubing, and just put on the clamp back onto there, and the clamp back onto there, and that will be fitted. And the next thing we're going to do is use the location groove here to put this plastic hose pipe. You see the location groove. I'm going to show you where it is, so you can clearly see it's here. Okay, and location groove allows the hose pipe to be located using this clip in the right direction. So that's what we're going to do next. So I'll just quickly do that, and then I will start the video again. So you can clearly see the clamp in position there, black clamp in position there, and this little plastic thing slots into that groove there on the vertical. So I'm going to show you how that pushes in. It goes flush with the top, and then you have this cable, which doesn't sit there. It sits around there, and you'll see it just sits in nicely. We put this location groove on as we described. Okay, and now these have got rubber seals in them, so you can see the rubber o-ring there. So that's going to push in and lock itself in there. And then the next thing we're going to do is going to put this base back onto the top, and use the two long screws which you removed earlier on, which are longer than the rest, to locate that base in securely. Make sure all the cables go in nicely. So let's do that next. There we go. Good firm push to make sure that o-ring goes all the way down. Cabling, or this metal spring, roots around it, and then we're going to place this thing back on, which should clip in nicely, just line it up using this for this section here. That will just pop in there, and that will be a location groove for it. Make sure the cabling, the wiring stays nice and safe and doesn't get trapped. So you'll see that the hose has came off again. So as you can see, we're just going to push it back in. It's no big deal, because you don't need to take this top covering off. Remember, these are the 4 long screws. I think 2 early on, but it's 4. One goes there, one goes there, another goes in there, and the last one goes in. Let me get rid of the teeth. The last one goes in here. So long screws is means literally long screw. It's securing the base where all the electrics are, so it's going to be longer than the rest of the screws. So let's pop that in, and the next thing we're going to do is we're going to connect these casings on next. And again, spot clean at the front, which is the big one, and little one on the back. And again, I'll talk you through that once I get around and put it on myself. So what I've done now is I've got the power button here, and I've put this casing on, which is a smaller casing. You can see it goes to the left, and you're watching this curvature on the casing will fit onto this power cable. Now, to secure it, I've got a screw here, and they're all the same size now, and on the opposite side there's a similar screw on the back there, and we'll pop that in, and that will make it nice and secure and make it easier to fit the front casing, which has the proheat bit on it. So I'm going to do that next, fit the front casing on. As I said, 2 screws just to secure it to nice. Each screw has to be perfect line. If there are angles corrected, it should drop in nicely into the existing slot like it did come out. Looking from the top, I'm going to do one side at a time. So I'm going to do the side of the hose. The little steel coil springy thing goes underneath, that's hidden behind there. Okay, so it goes behind that, and you'll see these little tabs there. They're going to slide under this, and then we're going to put the screw in, which is here, and one in here. I'm going to do the same on the other side. Again, make sure everything is precision, nice tight seals, and the screws are going in without any effort. Top tip is to make sure that this is pushed in nicely before securing the screws. Remember to get that little screw in there, put that one in, and that's what we're going to do next. And after we've done that, we're going to just work through and put the remaining screws in, so you can just see it just in there. Okay, we're on the home run now. The 5 screws which are underneath that plastic sticker that we just lifted plastic sticker, and we're going to line this up. Bottom little screw there. Okay, again that big top one right at the top. And there's a guide on the opposite side which allows this hose, just basically guides the hose pipe around so it curves in this direction. It will clip in beautifully. 5 screws go on and the sticker on top of that. And that's it all done. That's everything done. At the end of it, I said that will leave a sheet for you, and also links for where you can purchase things as well to make this happen. Hopefully that was useful for you. And yeah, nice and simple fix. Number 8 is 4 vertical casing screws which are longer. Remember, those are the ones that you're holding onto the electrical parts, so they're going to be longer. The other screws are all identical. Hopefully it's been of use to you.